We are getting close to having maple syrup in that pan. We've got a nice boil going. This is the time when I get close to maple syrup. This is the time that I start limiting the amount of wood that I put into the firebox, because I don't want to get a major boil going, because I could get a boil up and over. That'd be kind of a disaster after hours and hours of boiling. Let's see if I can get you in there for a better look. Let's see what's happening there. See how nice and brown it looks. We're getting that golden amber color of maple syrup. Love to see it. I like to get it as low as I can go out here while I'm still outside in the big pan, because that reduces the amount of time that I have to boil in the house. So the less I have to boil in the house, the better. I can evaporate steam a lot faster out here on the big pan than I can indoors. So I'll even let it go just steaming here, not boiling, sometimes towards the end. I have to watch the level of the sap or syrup in the pan now. I can't let it get too low. Otherwise if I expose the bottom of the pan even for just a few seconds, that's not good, because that can burn and ruin your pan. So I really got to watch the levels now. It's very normal for me to use my spoon to check the levels, and I know that this corner here is the lowest, so I check that corner as best I can, even with the steam there. It's hard to see with all that steam in my way. There, I just checked and it went right up to there, so I still have an inch. I still have an inch in this pan. That's fine. If it gets boiling too much, I sometimes skim off the foam, and that seems to quiet it down. Putting a cold spoon in the pan helps to quiet things down a little bit. Really, really close to time to pull that pan off. I'm letting it simmer. A lot of steam going out yet. But that corner way over there is my shallowest spot on the pan. And I can almost blow in there and expose the bottom of the pan with a little puff of air from my mouth, and that's one of my cues that it's really just about time to pull that pan off. Sometimes I swirl the syrup around in the pan. That helps bring cooler syrup to that corner to get rid of some steam so I can see better. Seems kind of gross to blow in there, doesn't it? But we don't sell our syrup. We just use it for family, and it's pretty sterile at this point. I'll let it just simmer away for a few more minutes. A little bit of flame in the firebox yet. I just added real thin sticks the last time. We're low enough in the pan now that I can, with a little puff of air, I can expose the bottom of the pan briefly. So that's in the lowest spot on the pan. It's a little deeper on to my left. It smells like maple syrup. It smells really delicious. Say a little prayer while I move this thing over. This is the most nerve-wracking part of the whole operation. It's after hours and hours of boiling. I would really hate for something to happen and spill it all. So here we go. Yeehaw! It was a successful move. Got an old shirt here. Set it over my bucket like this. Got some rubber bands all tied together in a ring, in a circle. I put that around my shirt. That holds it in place. Well, it hits right there and filters the syrup. This is first filtering. Just getting out all the main junk. Got that sitting right below the spigot. You probably can't see it, but it's there. I'm gonna open up the spigot. That looks good. It's hitting it just right. Now I'll lift it so it can drain out a little bit more quickly. I gotta move to the other side of the pan. Closing the valve. Now I'm going to drain that last little bit like this. No, it's good to the last drop. And I'm going to put warm water in here so that I can clean out the pan. First I'll take away the syrup. And here's what it looks like. Got some gunk on the shirt. It's still draining. I'm going to let it finish draining. I'm adding the warm water to the pan. I take my hands and clean out the pan wherever the syrup level was. Is a little bit of a crust, so I clean that with my hands. I just get that crust off. That's all I do, all along the sides, and then I run my hands along the bottom of the pan. So occasionally that can get a little bit of a film on it, and I clean it with my hands like this, because I'm going to use this pan again to make maple syrup in just a few days probably. I don't do a full cleaning. At the end of the season, I'll really clean it well, and I'll get all the black soot, get all the soot and carbon off the bottom of the pan as well. Alright, that feels good. I got most of that crustiness off. I'll open the valve a little bit. Let that clean out the valve. Now, I'm going to dump the water out. I'll put the pan in my shed. I'll lean it against the wall so that whatever moisture's in there can drain out. And I'm ready to go for the next time. Check it out inside the firebox. See, I've got some unburned wood in there. I like to douse it with water so that I can reburn that wood. I've got water here to put out the fire inside the firebox. My dear father-in-law would have looked at those coals and said, boy, that's some good coals to put a steak on. He's right. He would have been right. It would have done a steak pretty nicely. All right, putting out the fire. This is my 4th burn this season, so I'll probably, before I burn again next time, when this is cooled off, clear out some of the ashes so that we have more space for the wood and the air to circulate and have a nice hot fire. Here we are. Here's what's in the pail. You can see the gunk on it there, maybe. Take the lid off, the filter off for you. Oh yeah, look at that. It looks like syrup, doesn't it? I will put it into a pot in the house and finish it. Yum. Here we are in the house boiling. After hours and hours outdoors, now we're finishing the syrup in the house on the stove where I can control the heat.